Why is eye contact such a powerful force? Like, I'm sure that you've felt it before, like if you make eye contact with a very attractive girl and it triggers like an immediate like fear response that you might feel for just a split second and that just instinctively look away. Or even just like the feeling where, let's say, you're walking around and you feel like there's people looking at you. So it's like you feel the eyes of people. You feel this sort of self-conscious feeling of like there's people watching you. Why is that, right? Like what exactly is this where does the power and the deep psychological connection come from? Well, the quick answer to this question is that it comes from nature. It comes from, like, it's connected to a predator prey psychology in nature, where it's like, a prey, if they see eyes looking at them, it's like a threat to their life, right? So it's connected to like very, very raw primal emotions that stretch back like hundreds of millions of years, right? So these are like sort of at the base of our psychology. They have more influence over us than the newer, for example, the cognitive part of our thinking brain, right? We can be thinking about whatever, and then all of a sudden, boom, eyes looking at us. That eyes looking at us is going to have a stronger psychological effect than just like the whatever kind of, if you're thinking about whatever, gossip or mathematics or whatever kind of, like cognitive part of your brain, whatever that is preoccupied with, these more primal instinctive things are going to have a greater amount of influence on us. And this like primal sort of fear of like predator prey type of response has evolved over millions of years to become like this feeling of self-consciousness, or like these social related things that are really, when you think about like psychological issues that people have to do with like depression, anxiety, all these kind of things, these are connected to this more primitive instinctive type of psychology, and they likewise have a more stronger influence over us than any kind of thinking, any kind of thoughts that we might have to try to counteract that. You can say, no, don't be afraid, just think. I'm not afraid. That's not going to stop you from feeling fear, for example. And it's the same with any of these kind of like deeper emotions. So, but the connection to eye contact in particular is what I want to talk about right now. So basically, eye contact is a way to directly tap into this part of your mind, like in a very, very raw way, and in a way where you have some degree of control. Like you can choose whether, for example, I was just talking about like the instinctive reflex action to quickly look away, when you meet eyes with someone. You can have some degree of control. You might, in the moment, you might not be able to do it, but you can like consciously, if you start like thinking about it and doing this in your day-to-day life, you can consciously like maintain eye contact and like sort of hold the tension that comes as a result of these deeper emotions that get triggered, right? So and in doing this, you can tap into these deeper layers of your mind that usually just sort of happen like automatically or more unconsciously. The eyes are a way to sort of like merge your conscious control, your conscious ability to look and stare the fear and these feelings in the eyes. So it's like merging your conscious control with these more primal and powerful unconscious instincts. And this is connected to all the most important areas of psychology that have the most, the biggest effect on how we feel. So, for example, it has to do with attraction, with girls, with your, relationships, with your relationship to society and how you feel. Like I was talking about before, with like the feeling that everyone is looking at you and like the self-conscious feeling that's triggered from that. Well, that's directly related to any kind of feeling of being like inferior or self-conscious or feeling like you don't fit into the group or anything like that. And the eyes and eye contact is like a direct line to tap into this in a very, very raw way. And for me personally, it is something that's changed my life. Like about 12 years ago, I started experimenting with eye contact, and it really did, like, it allowed me to tap into this sort of deeper part of myself that I was completely unaware of before and like completely disconnected to, right? It's almost like tapping into the more true essence of myself, and it comes through eye contact, and it's connected to everything. That's sort of like the core from which all other aspects of confidence in all other areas of life stems from, is just this raw primal emotion that's connected to like the depths and the core of your very being, of who you are. And there's actually, in the self mastery course, there's actually an entire module. There's 7 lessons that go through like the deeper psychology, and I talk about my own experiences, my own experiments with eye contact, and how that was the seed and the starting point of a very, very deep transformation that I have gone through, and lessons on how to tap into these deeper layers of your mind and these deeper animal instincts, and all the exercises, 2 lessons on all the exercises that you need to be able to tap into all of this, and then a lesson on how to extend this into everything else, into all other areas of confidence in other areas of life, to develop a real depth of like internal self-confidence. So if you're interested, you can click on the link that's either below or in the description to check it out. And there's also like, that's just one part of the course, right? That's like one of the foundational levels, like one of the more beginner levels. It's like a starting point, right? Self-discipline and eye contact are like the core foundation. And then it's all about how to bring that into all areas of life, how to develop confidence and mastery over yourself in all different situations, including with girls, including with, you know, the way that you feel in relation to society. So everything is in there, right? It's a very, very in-depth course. It took me a long time to actually make. So if you're interested, just click on the link that's either below or in the description and check it out, and I will talk to you inside.